At the same time that the counseling department at Emporia State University was working on launching their new online degree, the university as a whole was also switching over to Canvas instead of the previous LMS they had. So faculty in the counseling department had to learn a new LMS while also dealing with putting the new program together. The online training course I created for them addressed both needs. It is also reusable, so any future faculty hires will be able to benefit as well. Based on the audience and content analyses, I identified 4 primary training objectives. First of all, I needed to keep faculty motivated and engaged during their training. Some of them had low confidence in their abilities starting out, and everybody was in a time crunch. Secondly, of course, the information I gave them needed to be pertinent and of high quality. Thirdly, training also needed to encourage efficient memory retention so there would be actual transfer to the job of teaching online. Finally, it also needed to conform to accessibility standards. This is something I'm always careful to do anyway, but I needed to be extra careful since these professors specialize in counseling people with disabilities. All of these issues were addressed by my commitment to the principles of authentic learning. The main idea was to immerse the faculty in as realistic a scenario as possible. In their situation, because they would need to be teaching online with Canvas, they needed to learn on Canvas. My motivational approach was based on Keller's ARCS model as well as principles from the field of user experience, or UX. The ARCS model correlates closely with the authentic learning model since the relevance of the instruction is embedded in the project-based nature of the assignments, and confidence and satisfaction are built by doing things and achieving one's goals successfully. The A for attention is also closely related to UX principles. To exemplify, here's the course's home page. When you first log in, there's a welcoming picture and clear, simple instructions on how to get started. Notice that the navigation is very simple, just a few options to choose from. Also, everything in the course flows through the modules to avoid confusion and to make it as easy to use as possible. As far as content, I had to pack a lot of information into a short period of time, so I focused on high-level concepts, as well as certain specific issues the faculty told me they wanted addressed. I divided the content into modules. The first module served 2 purposes. While I was introducing the learners to the course, I was also giving them practice in finding their way around Canvas. The second, third, and fourth modules walk them through the online course design process. I focused on theoretical principles to keep in mind during the design process, as well as more practical issues such as taking advantage of specific tools in Canvas. The final module focuses on actually teaching the online course. I based all lesson material on research-tested principles such as that found in the Quality Matters rubric and elsewhere, and on professionally identified best practices in online course design and delivery. Content was delivered via both video and text. The primary learning, though, occurred through the assignments, as you'll see next. Authentic learning is primarily a constructivist model, but I also used principles from cognitivist theories. Constructivism focuses on encouraging learners to build meaning and application themselves through real-world assignments, interaction with others, and quality models and resources. Cognitivism focuses on building quality schema through memory encoding efficiency, which is accomplished through chunking, progression from simple to complex, and spaced interval repetition. As far as my course, at the end of each lesson, the learners are immediately instructed to put that lesson's concept into action with guided activities. These activities are sets of instructions in how to proceed with creating their own online course one step at a time. These projects are actual courses that they will be teaching the following semester. Thus, the activities, rather than being contrived, are authentic, realistic, and with immediately useful results. If they faced a problem that wasn't addressed in the training, they had access to Canvas's help features, the ESU IT staff, and myself. They were also encouraged to consult with each other through the process. By having access to these resources, the faculty was immersed in a learning community during the course of the training. My course, by being based on the same platform that they themselves would have to use, and by conforming to high standards, provided one model for them to emulate as they build their own courses. I also provided some specific examples from other courses. I divided each module into lessons and each lesson into sections. Most lessons contain instructional content, a recapitulation, and an activity. After watching or reading the content, the next page summarizes what they just learned to help them consolidate the information into manageable chunks. In each lesson, I started with an overview of what they would be learning and why. Then I walked them through the subject matter directly, while gradually building in more and more details, reasoning, supporting research, and examples. In addition to recapitulations after each lesson, I also provided printouts which succinctly summarized important concepts from the course. Faculty could keep these printouts on hand to remind themselves of the training principles as needed later. For example, they could print out the list of accessibility tips to guide them as they design their courses. The faculty can use the list to jog their memories in how to make their online courses accessible. This is sometimes called just-in-time training. Thus, key information is repeated in several places throughout the training, as well as after the training. Canvas has a lot of good accessibility features built in, but I did have to do my part to ensure that certain things were in place. For example, I provided closed captions and transcripts for my videos. I provided descriptive alt text for images. I created heading structures using the markup features on all pages containing more than a little bit of text. I formatted links properly, and so on. This training course got good reviews from the participants, and it was an important part of my master's project.